Hi, hello there. My name is Frankie. I am a 24-year-old trans woman. I'm an animator and an illustrator, and I just got back from seeing the Amazing Digital Circus finale with some friends, and I just wanted to talk about how I felt about it, and most importantly, just talk about the shows and the artists' impact on me as a person. So obviously, big, huge fucking spoilers. Like, just you know, if you don't want any of this spoiled, like, leave. Otherwise, I'll just put like a timestamp for you to skip to. But yeah, I loved it. I sincerely enjoyed it. Like, the theater, like you'd expect, it was filled with like like a lot of little kids as well as adults and everything like that. Not too noisy or anything like that. The mixing was a little loud, like we or like pretty loud. We had to like plug our ears several times. I think that might have just been the tech guy over there. I'm not 100% sure. I know I've watched Markiplier's podcast a couple times. I know like those saying those files over the movie theaters can be a bit of a hassle. But the movie itself, I fucking loved it. I felt that the ending just kept paying off more and more towards the very end, and it felt like all the characters' arcs were wrapped up in a neat little bow, and it had me on the edge of my seat from start to finish. Even seeing the recap of episode 8, like on the big screen, color graded and everything, like to make it more cinematic, was just a fucking mind blowing experience. My biggest takeaway from this is, being a trans woman and watching a show created by another trans woman is understanding the trans allegory of the Amazing Digital Circus, especially this last and final act. Um, I think at the core of the show, it is all about, you know, persevering and keeping strong through the most heart wrenching, horrifying, like existentially terrifying situations, and coming out the other side okay through the power of friendship and caring about each other. And I know that sounds corny as hell to boil that down into it, but I mean, I do think it's accurate. I think that's basically like Pomni and Ragatha's story arc and everything like that. The characters just learn to grow with each other as a person. But Jax's arc, oh boy, that's another level I gotta talk about. Like the sequence where Pomni's in his brain when he's abstracted, going through the different Jaxes, the one where he's in the maid dress, but he's like very sardonic and like, oh, I'm wearing it ironically kind of thing. And the different versions of himself he perceives and how they're all kind of quote unquote abstractions of himself really landed home for me. As someone who frequently in their life has put on these masks to mask around other people and being afraid of someone pulling it off and laughing at you, like I think that very much is the trans experience, like summed up to a T. And especially the way Jax looks at himself in the mirror and says like, oh, I look stupid or something like that. And the way he's like, he can be very standoffish with a lot of people, and especially people trying to comfort him because he's been burned before. And just the whole "Isn't She Lovely" sequence with the montage of Jax, I think, was Gooseworks' cheeky little way of being like, hey, Jax is trans, the theory is right, this is the complete like picture, yes, 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 that is obviously correct. And it was really satisfying to see. But even though the ending was like very happy, and I don't know if some people might conclude that it was, oh, some things were a little too convenient or something like that. I like the fact that even though Jax was abstracted, there's still hope, and Pomni was still able to reach him and break through his shell at the end of the day, because I think it's important to show people, especially younger people, who are in that kind of mindset of, oh, I need to hide everything beside irony. I can never let myself out. Like to show them that, hey, there are some people out there with genuinely good intentions who love you and want to support you and everything like that. And I guess that brings me to Gooseworx herself. I understand that this could come off as like a parasocial kind of thing, and trust me, I have no delusions about if Gooseworx is even going to see this video. I just wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making this, for putting so much, seasoning on it, I guess, like letting it cook for as long as it did, just making sure everything was, polished to the finest little detail, and posting it and telling the complete story start to finish, even through all the harassment and the controversies and the backlash and everything. I know they say don't meet your heroes. I know, I'm not trying to put the artist on the pedestal or anything like that. I just want to say that, as a trans woman, seeing another trans woman's work being so widely applauded and appreciated and making it up to the big screen, it's just genuinely given me so much hope. I'm lucky enough to live in a state where, trans rights aren't being jeopardized as much, but all over the country and around the world, they are. And it's really dangerous, to be one of us. It is hard to know who you can trust with that information. Sometimes it can lead to serious consequences that can change your life forever. And just seeing a trans woman go through all that effort, through all that stress, through all that strife and obstacles to tell the whole story and come out the other side, it's just, it just fills me with so much joy and pride and appreciation. Look, I don't know you, Gooseworx. I don't know Ghostworks. What the fuck? I don't know you, like, personally, obviously, and I don't know any of the other artists and the voice casts and everything like that personally, but I genuinely just wanted to unabashedly and very vulnerably, actually, even at the risk of me sounding corny or embarrassing or getting taken out of context, I just want to thank you for making this happen, just because it really, it made me realize, who I was as a woman. And I'm pretty sure it did that for a lot of other people my age and younger or older as well. And for all the shit slung your way in whoever's direction by, whoever, I just hope that feedback like this, videos like this, whatever, can show you that your work is loved. Y'all are indirectly loved and appreciated, and I'm thankful that you made this, and you showed the world that, hey, trans women can make beautiful art that everyone can love, and we're not going away. All right, thank you very much. Have a good one. Good night.